Good evening. Good evening, men and women of God. Thank you so much for being on the line with us. I want to thank the Apostle Joanne. First and foremost, I just want to thank God for just another day, and for keeping me in my right frame of mind. Today was very challenging. You know, like I was one of the people who got some information that turned my world upside down. I was one of them. When she said that, I was like, woof, I can identify with that. So I just want to thank God first and foremost for keeping me throughout this day. I'm telling you, I don't know how people do it, man. I be thinking about that. I be like, people I know, people I work with, I be wondering how they be getting through. I'm like, how they do it? Like, ain't no way in the world that I would be able to get through life without God. I was saying to myself, how you used to do it, how you used to think you was getting through. Keyword, I thought I was getting through. But I was using things that was no good for me, that wasn't even really helping me get through. It was more setting me back than anything. But I just don't understand it. It's almost like I want to say that I almost feel sorry for them. Like, I don't know how they do it, you know. So I want to thank the Apostle Joanne for just asking me again. I know I was on last week, and it's just always an honor and a privilege to, like, be able to be chosen by God to, like, be used as his vessel, and I'm so grateful. I'm telling you, I'm so grateful, men and women of God, that God say all we got to be is willing. Like, all we got to be is willing vessels. All we got to do is say, I'll do it. You know, I'm willing, right? And, like, he'll do, like, everything else. And I'm so grateful to know that today, because today was challenging. And in my own strength, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's why when God say, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, that thing sounds a whole lot different reading it and saying it today. I was talking to the Apostle Joanne yesterday, and I was saying to her, God's word be hitting different. If you can read a passage 50 million times, but when you in a certain place, that thing hit completely different. And so I'm just so thankful to have this line, to be, even if I wasn't given a word of encouragement, I couldn't wait for 7:40 to get here. It was almost like I was on pins and needles, because I just needed to be in the company. I just needed to be in the company of my brothers and sisters. I just needed to be with y'all. If I didn't have to give the word of encouragement, if I didn't say a word, I just needed to be with y'all tonight. And I was thinking about, you know, you never know, like, God will minister to you. I'm telling you, he'll take one thing, like, and that thing will minister to you for a long, like, I'm telling you, this was several weeks ago. The man of God came on and gave a word. I know y'all like, she going to say this again. Yes. The man of God came on and gave the word of encouragement, and all the good stuff he gave, that God gave him the nugget to give out to us that night. I kid y'all not, I'm still resting in. I'm still meditating in his title. His title. The man of God said, it's not a hopeless situation. Every time I say that, I verbalize it out of my mouth. It encourages me. It gives me some hope to hang on to. And I said, okay, so he said, it's not a hopeless situation. Well, why is it not a hopeless situation? It's not a hopeless situation because when we invite Jesus, when we invite him into the equation, in the mix of everything, he's the hope. That's why it becomes a situation that could be crazy and look crazy and sound crazy and it is crazy, right? It could look like hope because Jesus in the midst of it. That's the hit. That's the part right there that makes it not hopeless. For me, anyway. And I've been riding on, I'm telling you, I've been meditating on that thing. I can't let that title go. I say, God, thank you for the man of God that you gave him that title to bring on that night because I need it. I need it right now. And I was thinking today, I was like, where I'm at, I'm in pain. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real, right? I'm in emotional pain right now. But God told me something today that blew my mind, and I want to share it with y'all. He said, the presence of pain. You got to catch this. The presence of pain doesn't mean that I'm not present. I got to repeat that. God ministered to me on this day. He said, daughter, he said, the presence of pain, P-A-I-N, does not mean that I'm not present. Blew me away. Because you see, sometimes when I'm in this level of pain, right? Sometimes my mind will try to convince me that God ain't with me. I don't know what it do for nobody else. I'm talking about me. It'll have me thinking that he can't be here. He can't be in the midst. But he said that he is, even in the pain. Let me help you understand something. No, let me give you my scriptures first. Let me do that. I got 4 scriptures. Please just kind of go with me. Just follow me. Right? You might be like, what's she going with all this? Just bear with me, okay? The first scripture is coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 1, 8 and 9. See, God will come and he'll confirm some things with you through his word. So this is what it says. I'm reading from the NLT. It says, we think we ought to know. We think you ought to know, dear brothers and sisters, about the trouble we went through in the province of Asia. We were crushed and overwhelmed beyond our ability to endure. You got to catch this. And we thought we would never live through it. In fact, we expected to die. But as a result, we stopped relying on ourselves and learned to rely on God who raises the dead. That's one. The next one is 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 7. He says, NLT, these trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Jesus Christ is revealed to the whole world. The next one is still NLT, and this is Romans 8:28, one of our favorite scriptures. And we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. So that means it should be no reservation. We know. Okay. Then I want y'all to go to Job 1:20. I know Apostle probably got that phone on mute tripping, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. We going somewhere. God will take us somewhere tonight. Job chapter 1, verse 20. This one is from the ESV. And it says, then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head and fell on the ground in worship. The title of the word of encouragement tonight is The Furnace of Testing. The furnace of testing. If you really want to see, let me say it like this, a test, right? A life test will really show us how much we need God. A life test will really show us how when we think we can do something, when we think we can fix, manage, and control things, a test will show us that we can't. Yeah, it will. Yeah, it will. That's why it's like, it's something about, and I always ask God when I'm in prayer, like, Lord, please help me to be fully persuaded. That means no room for reservation, no room for doubting, right? Help me to be fully persuaded in my heart and in my mind that you know everything that's going on with me, that you see every situation I'm in right now. Because he does. Because I'm going to tell you something. If for 1 minute I thought otherwise, if I thought God really wasn't all-knowing and he really didn't see everything, and I'm in a test right now, I'm in the furnace right now of testing, it would be a problem. It would be a problem for me. I don't know, like I said a minute ago, how I would make it in the furnace of testing. I don't know. See, one thing with God being, with me knowing and being fully persuaded that he see and know it all, right? That he takes delight in knowing everything that's going on with me. Not one detail about where I'm at, where you at, what you going to do, where you at in your life is escaping him. It's just not. Right? He's up on everything. So I might be shocked and surprised to find myself in this test. I might be shocked, like, ooh, Lord, what? Right? But God ain't surprised. And he ain't shocked. This didn't knock him off his feet. This didn't somehow make him say, ooh, this too much for me, I'm out. No. He say, I see you. I see everything you're going through right now. I see how much pain you in right now. I'm on it. That's what he's saying to me. Because let the truth be told, right? I don't care how many times I go to church. I don't care if I pray 5 hours straight, 7 days a week. I don't care how much I read my word, how much fasting I do, none of that. And all that is what we're supposed to do. But this is what I'm saying. We all, as children of God, is going to find ourselves in the furnace of testing, every one of us. I don't care what we do, don't do, we going. We going in. It's necessary. It's mandatory. See, one of the things that God said to me, he said, daughter, I listen to everything you say out your mouth. When you in worship, corporately, privately, when you praying, corporately, privately, I'm listening to what you're saying. So when you saying that you got faith in me, when you saying that you trust me, now that faith got to be tested. You can't, check this out, you can't just say it out of your mouth, Deborah. Now it got to be tested. I looked up the word test, y'all, and then know what it said? It said to see if the quality of a thing is effective. To see if this effective, if this, it's like the scripture said, if this genuine or not. Right? Because let the truth be told, I can talk, I can say whatever I want out my mouth. But can I live that out when the time comes? Can I live the word? Can I live the things that I said out of my mouth when I'm in the furnace of testing? God in the furnace, that scripture, Romans 8:28, I heard the apostle when she was praying it, I was like, Dad, she confirmed, God is confirming a lot of things through what she's praying. Because she started talking about how God will take, we should know that he'll cause things to work, everything to work together for the good of those who love him and those that he has called. So it's like, even in the furnace of testing, God is going to take all that. He's going to take all of that that's going on, and he's going to work it out for the good, because it's all about him receiving the glory. Every single drop of it. All of it. Each time we go into the furnace, because check this out. Entering into the furnace of testing will continue until either we pass away or Jesus come back. We're going to be in there. We're going to be in there, in and out, in and out, in and out. Why? Well, why would we be in and out, in and out? Why? It just can't be a one-time thing. Let's just go ahead in the furnace, get tested, come on out. No, because each time we go into the furnace, our faith is being pure. It's being made stronger. It's being made purified. It's going to be more effective each time we go in and come out. It's going to be more effective than the last time you went in. It's going to be more effective. See, God is looking for a certain, some stuff to happen. Or let me say it like this. God is looking for a response when we in the furnace of testing. So I don't know if you're saying this, but I was like, well, how we get in there? Okay, so God said, either I put you there or you do something that allows you to go there. And I say, okay, go in. Just go ahead in. Because even if you made a choice, Deborah, that caused you to have to go into the furnace of testing, I'm going to let you in there because I'm going to do some things. I'm going to do some things in there. See, in the furnace, God is looking for a response. And the response that he's looking for, men and women of God, is that he's looking for the response of us being okay with being in there. Like being okay. He's looking for the humility. The humility of knowing that, guess what? I can't get myself through this test. It's nothing that I can do to get me through this test. It's going to have to be me relying completely and totally on God or nothing else. Or nothing else. It's all about complete and total dependence on the Father, he told me. You got to depend on me. You got to depend on me, Deborah. Stop trying to fix, manage, and cook. No. In these tests right here, you can't do nothing but depend on me. You got to wait on me now. You got to wait on me now. And God ministered to me. He said, and when you in that furnace, I need you to not look naturally. You can't, Deborah, be in the natural. You can't. I say, why, God? He said, I'm gonna hit you in your head with this one, Apostle. This before I even talk to you. God say you can't look natural when you in the furnace, because when you look natural, daughter, then you restrict there's a restriction going on. When you looking natural, it's restricted. That means there's some limits going on. You can't see far enough to know that I'm there. You can't see that far. You can't see me that far when you in the natural looking. I said, what? He said, oh, yeah. Yes. You got to look when you in the furnace. You got to look through them spiritual lenses. That's when you got to walk by that faith and not by sight, when you in the furnace of testing. Because when you there, you can see me. There's no restrictions. There's no limitations. You can see me. And that, men and women of God, that blew my mind. It's like, think about it like this. It's like when we in the furnace of testing and we're looking spiritually from that furnace, it's like how when Caleb and Joshua had went scouting out the land that God said was already there. And when they went looking, and with the other 10 children of Israel, how the giants look like mega to them. They look like grasshoppers compared to the giants. So they started convincing themselves there's no way in the world they could take or have whatever God had given them already, promised to them. When we look spiritually in the furnace of testing, we see like Joshua and Caleb, not the other 10. We see like them two. We see like them. Not like the other 10 who got caught up in what it looked like naturally. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, They got caught up in that. They got caught up in that. It's like also I think about the example of David and Goliath, and how when David went to fight Goliath, he said to him clearly, he said, you come to me, and I'm just paraphrasing, I don't know all the whole word by word, but he said, you come to me with all these swords and helmets and breastplates and all these different things you come to me with. And I come in the name of the Lord, the one true living God. It's like David saw that he could take Goliath out in the spirit. If David would have been looking naturally, Goliath would have tore him up. He would have tore him up. Yeah. I'm going to tell you another thing that God shared with me. And that's why I went to Job. I know y'all was like, well, how does this matching with all this? Because God has shared with me how he was looking for a response from me in this testing of being okay with being tested. He was looking for the response of humility, complete and total surrender to the fact that only God can get me through this test right here, right? And God said, I'm looking for one more thing from you. And I say, what would that be? And he said, I'm looking for a praise. I'm looking for worship, even in the midst of being in the furnace of testing. That's why I went to Job 1:20. After all that Job had went through, he still worshiped the Father. He still worshiped the Father. When you think about the story of, I can't think of their names, the three Hebrew boys, the three Hebrew boys that was in the fiery furnace, because I think Nebuchadnezzar put them there, because they wouldn't worship and pray to his gods. So they put them in the fiery furnace. Meshach, Rashach, and Abednego, I think their name is. He put them in the fiery furnace. And he turned that sucker up. He turned that knob. He told them, not him, he told the people, his servants, to turn it up to the highest. To the highest. To the highest temperature that it could go, to burn them to a crisp, like there would be nothing left. And what happened, y'all? What happened? I'm just saying, I'm going to say what happened, but I'm just like, what happened? When they looked in, they saw the three Hebrew boys praising, worshiping, and they saw another figure in the fire with them. Jesus, my Lord. Another figure was in the fire with them. God was in the midst of that testing that they had going on. That test that they was going through, he was in the midst of that. They brought him in the midst of their testing. And I got to be intentional, purposely, bringing God, come in the midst of this. It's too big for me to handle. I can't do this right here. Instead of thinking that I can. Coming to the realization that I can. And still making a conscious decision to praise God, to worship Him, even in the midst of the testing, y'all. Yes, now, if you would have told me this some years ago, if God would have ministered to me like this, I'd have been like, man, get out of here with all that right there. That's some foolishness. No, this real right here. This real right here. Guess what? You know that they had roped them up. Remember, they roped them up. They put the bands around them and put them in the furnace, right? They put them in the furnace all wrapped up. But when they looked, they wasn't wrapped up no more. Me, personally, I believe they praised their way out of them straps. I do. I believe that they praised their way. They just kept praising and praising and praising God, even though they was in the fire, the furnace of testing. They praised Him and praised Him until them ropes just started popping off them. Start popping off. And then when Nebuchadnezzar and them looked in the furnace, they wasn't even roped up. They ain't even look like what they put them in as. That's why we got to know, without a doubt, when we come out of that furnace, we're going to look different. We're going to look completely different than when we went in the furnace of testing. I thank y'all so much. I'm telling you, this is crazy, and I mean in a good way. I told y'all that I just needed y'all presence. I just needed to be on the phone. I know y'all like, well, you ain't in our presence. Yeah, I am. I don't care where y'all at. I don't care what state y'all in. We on the phone together, and y'all encourage me. Just by y'all being on the line, it encourages me. My God, my God, my God. As long as I keep God in the midst of every time I'm in the furnace of testing, I got to be fully persuaded in my mind. And in my heart, there can't be no wavering that I'm going to be all right. God is my hope. He's my refuge. He's my salvation. He's my security. He's my comfort. He's everything. And I just thank y'all for listening. I thank y'all for encouraging me with y'all presence. Apostle Joanne, again, I thank you for your obedience, and I pray that God will bless you for your obedience. Thank you for listening.